Hi friends, welcome again in 6WTV. Today in this video we will see, how was the year 2021 for science? In a very short period of time, scientists have carried out other scientific achievements, including developing a vaccine for diseases such as corona. The year 2021 proved to be a very good year in terms of science. The good thing about science and scientific discoveries is that they are not the domain of any one country or group but for the benefit of all humanity, so let's see how far the world has come in the field of science in the year 2021. Number 1. Preparation of artificial coffee. It is estimated that 30 to 40% of the world's population drinks coffee daily, and this rate is increasing over time, which means that it is necessary to increase coffee production, but the biggest problem is this. The coffee crop requires a lot of water, fertilizer, and space for good growth. In addition, after harvesting, factories extract coffee seeds, and after preparing them, factories dump water into rivers, many of which toxic chemicals are also involved, which have a detrimental effect on the environment. But now scientists have experimented with coffee production in the lab with the help of cell culture. Surprisingly, the aroma and taste of the coffee produced as a result of this experiment are similar to those of the original coffee. The cells feel as if they are part of a plant and in turn produce coffee seeds. Number 2. Explain the relationship between cancer and DNA. We know that living things are made up of tiny cells that have DNA in their center. Understand that DNA is a chemical substance that contains all information about is contained in the chemical state. We have been taught in biology books since childhood that if the sun's intense rays, X-rays, etc. cause damage to this DNA, also called DNA mutation or DNA mutation. So, the process of cell growth, that is, division, changes, and this leads to cancer, but is it really only DNA mutations that cause cancer? In September 2021, a study on moles on the human body revealed that moles are also a type of cancer. We know that moles on human skin are formed when the skin is black. The pigment-producing cells rapidly divide due to DNA mutations to form clusters of cells, which we call mole. Moles are also a type of cancer, but they are not very dangerous. Black tumors are also caused by DNA mutations in the same cells. Observations of both cells showed that in severe cancers, such as black tumors, ATAD2, a protein found in the same cells, was involved in DNA mutations that turned on a gene, a core of DNA, in DNA. As a result, the cells take the form of deadly tumors instead of just a simple mole. Number 3. Discovery of enzymes that collide with biology. We know that the cell of an organism contains DNA which sends chemical lines to the part of the cell that makes proteins for the growth of the cell, which we also call ribosomes, which make proteins, and these lines, in biological terms, messenger RNA. This process, from DNA to messenger RNA, is called transcription. There is a central principle in biology, which we also call central dogma, which tells us that messenger RNA from DNA in a cell, the Na and its ribosomes, continue to form proteins and cannot be reversed, but a recent discovery by scientists has challenged this principle. In June 2021, scientists discovered an astonishing enzyme called polymerase theta in human cells. This enzyme can also be called human reverse transcriptase. Scientists are disturbed by this discovery because many biological concepts based on the principle, and this research is clashing with this principle. It means that there is still a lot to be discovered. Number 4. Successful experiment with synthetic insulin in the human body. The number of people suffering from diabetes is increasing rapidly all over the world. According to an estimate in 2019, approximately 630 million people worldwide have diabetes, 90% of whom have insulin-producing organ, the pancreas, which slows down the production of insulin with age. This type of diabetes is called type 2 diabetes, which is commonly referred to as a person with diabetes. To maintain the required amount of insulin in these patients, insulin shots are given. But the first type of diabetes is the one in which the human body's immune system fights the germs and damages the pancreatic cells in the body permanently. This diabetes is seen in most children and as a result human. The body is unable to make insulin for life. But rest assured, because scientists at the University of Washington have released an amazing study that found stem cells in the blood of a 63-year-old man with type 1 diabetes. Within a few weeks, they produce cells that help the body regain its ability to make insulin. These cells are present in the human pancreas, which we call beta cells. The results of these experiments are welcome, but scientists still need more clinical experiments. Number 5. Discovery of a lava pool on Mars. The Mars rover, a spacecraft sent to Mars by the U.S. Space Agency in July 2020, has recently informed scientists about the level at which the spacecraft has been orbiting for the past 8 months. The spacecraft was landed in the famous Martian crater, Jezero, because scientists thought that in the past water would have flowed to this place and this crater would actually be a pool of water, but in November 2021 this spacecraft made a hole in the surface of Mars. It was discovered that the spacecraft was not traveling under an ocean, but was formed by the freezing of lava. Further examination of these rocks has led scientists to find minerals that indicate that water may have flowed over these frozen lava rocks. Of course, this information from this spacecraft will help to know better about Mars. Number 6. The first malaria vaccine. By the way, malaria is not a new disease, and for many years the highest number of deaths from malaria has been in the world. In Africa alone, 500,000 people are infected with malaria every year and thousands die. More than half of those infected and dying are children under the age of 5, but now that the malaria vaccine has been introduced, it is thought that the disease will be controlled. Scientists have been working for years to develop a vaccine to combat malaria, but in 2021 the World Health Organization approved the first malaria vaccine to be given to the general public. Number 7. Preparation of antibiotics with the help of supercomputers. We know that doctors prescribe antibiotics for many bacterial infections, which help the body's immune system to mark the disease-causing bacteria in the body, but as a result of the evolutionary process, the immune system of the bacteria the antibiotic used to fight the infection is no longer useful. This means that the bacterial immune system adapts itself to its environment, and we need new antibiotics to protect our bodies from infection. It is estimated that if nothing is done to develop a new antibiotic, the average human lifespan will be reduced by 20 years. That's why scientists are developing new types of antibiotics in the lab, but with the speed at which germs are becoming more powerful, scientists have begun to use supercomputers to fight germs. Supercomputer-assisted antibiotic experiments are currently underway, showing that the antibiotic is 56 times more effective than the WHO's list of essential medicines. Number 8. New discoveries of the Parker Solar Probe. The space mission sent to the Sun by NASA in the year 2018 had a spacecraft called Parker Solar Probe, which aims to gather information by 2023, knowing that it is very close to our Sun. This spacecraft is the first man-made machine to observe a star so closely. Despite having so many solar satellites, the purpose of sending this mission was to send information that scientists could not get from millions of kilometers away from the Sun to this spacecraft. In the solar wind coming from the Sun, the magnetic sensor attached to it saw the magnetic field in its environment and saw the fluctuations in it. Scientists knew about the solar winds but never observed such zigzag fluctuations from the Earth. Scientists called this change of magnetic fields switchbacks. Interested in where these switchbacks are made? They found the answer when the Parker Solar Probe got closer to the Sun, and the spacecraft noticed that these switchbacks were formed when the matter and magnetic field accelerated due to the process of connection below the surface of the Sun. Get out of it should be noted that in the correction of physics, the process of convection takes place in a liquid state, gas or plasma, when the cold part of the substance replaces the hot part due to its high density. Our Sun is made of plasma, which means that switchboxes come out of a place where the relatively cold plasma settles down and the hot plasma reaches the surface of the Sun. Number 9. James Webb Telescope explores the universe. At the end of the year, on December 25, 2021, NASA launched $10 billion worth of the world's largest telescope into space. It is said that the Earth and the Sun will revolve around the orbital system, but the question arises why scientists want to send this telescope to this place alone in space? This is because the telescope will not observe in ordinary light like the Hubble telescope, but will observe in infrared light, and that is why it has been kept away from the Earth, because the Earth and the living beings on it emit heat, which this can cause disturbances in infrared light. Another reason is that the Hubble telescope orbits the Earth, sometimes traveling during the day and sometimes at night, which means that it cannot observe any galaxy or star for 24 hours straight. That's why James Webb has been kept off the ground so that observations can be made without interference. Another question is, why would this telescope look in infrared? Why not in normal light? This is because there is cosmic dust everywhere in the universe that absorbs ordinary light, which means that it prevents light from reaching us, which makes it impossible to see the other side. But on the contrary, cosmic dust does not block infrared light, which means that with the help of infrared we can peek into the universe beyond these cosmic dust clouds. The point at which the James Webb Telescope is being sent is called the lingering point 2. The Earth and the Sun have 5 lingering points in the orbital system. The James Webb Telescope will not need to be moved at lingering point 2, and thus this telescope will be able to carefully observe any cosmic body. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe our channel for such videos. Thanks for watching 6WTV.